Shalom Dammit! This is Rabbi Sol Solomon with a Rabbinical Reflection for the week of August 31st, 2014. Well, it's been an eventful month in World Woebegone. What should have been a nice, relaxing laze through the end of summertime, or, for those of you in New Zealand, your last good shot at a snowball fight. Instead, it has been an August fraught with war, tumult, and misfortune. Closest to my own heart, of course, is the battle that had been raging between Israel and Palestinians in Gaza. When last we checked in together, Israel was mourning the loss of 3 innocent hitchhikers who took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. That was followed by Palestinians firing rockets at Israel. Actually, it was preceded by and followed by Palestinians firing rockets at Israel, which led to Israel saying enough's enough, which led to massive bombings, more rockets, a couple of psychotic Israelis killing Arab children, a few ceasefires that lasted long enough for the Arabs to import more rockets, lots of dead Arab terrorists, Hamas militants, and semi-innocent, semi-civilians, too many dead IDF soldiers, and a battle that President Obama has been kind enough to let Israel wage without much interference beyond the occasional naughty. My feelings about the Gaza situation have been spoken so many times, I feel like a Murder, She Wrote rerun on the Hallmark Channel. Still, I'll say it again. Tiny little Israel shaved off a sliver of itself to give the Arabs in exchange for peace. What do the Palestinians give us in return? Thousands of attempted murders by rocket attacks, punctuated by the occasional real murder just to break up the monotony. How does Hamas expect to give the Palestinians a permanent home if they're such horrible tenants when they rent? And to all the left-wing ignoramuses, morons, who march in Times Square and the Garment District with their Arab flags and their Zionism is Nazism banners and they're screaming about Israeli war crimes, I will say once again, when the Arabs stop terrorizing Jews and every other culture in the Western world, will stop killing Arabs back. And if they don't like living in or near Israel, there's plenty of Arab land in the Middle East where they can worship Islam, stone their women, and cut off each other's hands for picking their noses. Oh, and for all those Democracy Now! Types bashing Israel for killing Arabs, guess how many Arabs were killed by Arabs in Syria? 191,000, give or take. Meanwhile, Iraq is falling apart, so we have to go back there because of militant Mohammedans, and in response, a Syrian terrorist cut off the head of an American journalist and put it on YouTube just to see how many likes he could get. Some say the video is a fake, but even if it is, somebody got his head handed to him. And, speaking of violence, it just wouldn't be a summer in the American South without racial tension, would it? So, a black guy shoplifts from a convenience store, roughs up the owner a little bit when he tries to resist, gets stopped by a cop for reasons that have nothing to do with the crime, starts charging at the officer, or surrendering, depending on whose story you believe, and gets a half a dozen bullets in his head for his troubles. Are the blacks upset? You bet. The guy had no knife, no gun, no nothing. Instead of his deadliest weapon, the cop could have reached for a taser or his nightstick. Then again, Michael Brown could have reached for his wallet instead of stealing those cigars. He's lucky the store owner didn't blow his head off before the popo did. Obviously, police have a trigger finger problem, especially when it comes to foreigners or people whose skin is darker than your average manila file folder. So, if this whole Ferguson, Missouri calamity leads to better policing, I'm all for it. But when I see protesters willing to believe everything bad about American cops and everything angelic and wonderful about Michael Brown, my eyebrow rises. When I see other protesters somehow equating Israel's retaliation against Hamas with the death of this teenager, my gorge rises. And when I see actress Penelope Cruz denouncing Israel for committing genocide, my dick rises. I can't help it, it's Penelope Cruz. But the bitch really needs to show more tits and less mouth. I hope she chokes on a Nescafe. Speaking of choking, a fond farewell to Robin Williams, actor, comedian, and apparently all-around good guy. He really wasn't that funny, but he made such a constant effort to be funny that you had to give him props and marvel at his gusto. I liked him in Mork and Mindy, I loved him in Awakenings, and I'll miss his risk-taking performances as much as his more patented stand-up. Yes, he suffered from depression, but if you made Patch Adams, you'd be depressed too. We also had a suicide by Nascar with Kevin Ward Jr. stepping out of his vehicle to confront driver Tony Stewart for sending him into a spin. Okay, here's a math problem, everyone. If you stand in front of a car going 250 miles an hour, what are the odds of getting hit by a car going 250 miles an hour? I'd say 100%, Alex. Maybe Kevin Ward was too angry to think straight, but he was certainly too dumb to live. Then again, the state of our government could make anyone suicidal. The Republicans keep vowing to impeach the president for being Karl Marx, while 2016 GOP frontrunner Rick Perry gets indicted for being Machiavelli. We lost a nice Jewish girl named Betty Jane Persky, who grew up to be Lauren Bacall. And the month of August also gave us a 6.0 earthquake in Northern California, causing millions of dollars of damage to vineyards in Sonoma and Napa Valley. Great. Just when we need to get rip-roaring drunk to forget all the crap that's happening, God smashes the bottles. So, where will we all be a month from now? Will Russia invade the Ukraine? Will September 11th come and go without ISIS offering us an anniversary gift? Will Malaysia start making airplanes out of rubber just in case they have to bounce? Hang on, my friends. It's going to be a bumpy ride. This has been a Rabbinical Reflection for Rabbi Sol Solomon, Temple Songs of Bitches in Great Neck, New York.